So we're going to start with the standard base. If you've got a digital inflator, use that. I'm using the hand pump. So 3 strokes of the hand pump, and that's 4 inches. And this is a 5-inch round pearl lime. So these are Qualitex. So if you don't have the pearl limes, just use a green of your choice. We've got our 2 duplets and just put them together to form your cluster of 4. And then we want to make a smaller cluster of 4. So just 2 strokes of the hand pump, so 3.5 inches of air. Just tie the 2 together to make your duplet. And then we want another duplet. So if I'm doing this kind of base for a tabletop, this kind of design for a tabletop, this is pretty much how I start them off. So take one of the necks and nozzles and pass them through. We've got a sand weight. I've got a tutorial on how to make a sand weight. So just take hold of the neck and nozzle, pull that into the base, into the centre, and just wrap in a figure of 8 motion around that top layer. Okay? Just make sure everything's sitting correctly, and that's your weighted base. Next, I'm using 260s in spring green. So, letting a little bit of air out, because quite often when you inflate, this part of the balloon is under a lot more pressure than further down. And then just tie, and we want another couple of these. We're going to squeeze them and very roughly split them in half and pass them into the base. I just tend to cross it over here, and that just locks the others into position. You're going to need a blush or a round 5-inch round in whatever colour you want your elves to be. So blush, and just let that down. I like to make it nice and round, but before I commit and tie this balloon, I like to test whether the balloon is going to do what I want it to do. So I just kind of squeeze all the air in and then push it through to the base, and I kind of think, yes, that's downsized enough to allow me to do the kind of twist that I want. So next you're going to need a 350. Okay, so we only need a little bit of this, so we don't need to inflate it all, and just let some of the air out. So you're going to need a bubble of about 5 or 6 fingers, and then just tie, okay, because you want this nice long bit here with the nozzle on the end. And just give your balloon a bit of a squeeze just to give it a bit of a curve, and then twist here, and then we can just tie that into a knot. Okay. And then what we want to do next is take that balloon, the blush balloon, 5-inch round, squeeze the air into the neck, and you want to place the 2 nozzles together. So place the green on top of the 5-inch round, and you want to push it through into the base here to where the latex just looks that little bit thicker, this colour change, and then grab hold of the knot, those knots, give it a twist. Take a little piece of 160 and wrap that around those knots, and then just tie. Okay, so once you've tied that once, tie a second time. Okay, so we've got a little face in the start of the elf's hat. Next you're going to need another 160, tie it off. And we want to make some nice big loops. Again, these don't have to be exactly the same size. And just take hold of that knot and nozzle, wrap it around that second loop and pass it through, and that's just going to help make sure it doesn't come undone. So they're approximately the same size, but they really don't have to be. Okay, and then we can cut off the rest. And tie. Okay. If you've any little messy bits left like I have, just cut that off. And then we can take the tails from the bottom of the elf's head and just pull those into those loops and wrap them around. When we've done that, you can either tie or you can just cut them off. Oops. Okay, so that's what you've got so far. Next, I'm using a 260 in white. I'm going to inflate to a tail of perhaps about 5 or 6 fingers, again letting it down a little bit, and I'm going to make loop twists. So these are quite small, maybe 3 fingers or so. Take that knot and nozzle and pass it through the centre of the loop. Give your balloon a squeeze and make another small loop. And take that knot and nozzle, wrap it round and make another loop. And again, these need to be, they don't need to be the same size, but close is good enough. Okay, and if you end up with one loop that is slightly larger, then I tend to put that on the top of this cluster. Okay, so you've got 3 loops that are pretty much the same size and one just slightly larger. Okay, so we can cut here. Whoops, that's just shot across the room. I haven't tied this yet. So you just tie this around. If you want to put a pinch twist in here, you can. But I pull these together and I just pull that around and tie. And I like to tie a couple of times. Okay. And then just cut off the ends here. I shall just go and retrieve the pom-pom. So just tie in a knot and cut off any excess. Okay, and then we can, see, this is why balloons are fun. they make us smile. So even when we've been working with them for, you know, as long as we have, we still have a lot of fun with them. So just take that end and wrap it into that cluster to secure the pom-pom onto the hat. And then if you have got a bit of an end here, which I have, I'm just going to trim that off and tidy it up. So curve that over a little bit if you want to. And at this point, I like to draw the elf's face. Brows, a little nose, and a big happy smile. Just do a little highlight. Elves are known for their rosy cheeks, so we've got the makeup out. All we need to do now is attach our elf head to the base. I've got a few other heads already prepared. And then I'm just going to make a small bubble and then a loop, and then make another loop to match. And you can make your loops as large as you like. If you want bigger loops, that's entirely your choice. So we just want to twist this bubble here ideally. If you're not comfortable pinch twisting, you can just cut off the nozzle end here and just tidy that up a little bit. But to pinch twist, just hold hold of the knot and nozzle, grab hold of that bubble and twist it around. And then just wrap that knot and nozzle through. So give everything a bit of a stretch. And then we just want to gather our bouquet together. And wrap that around. Okay. We're not going to use all of this. And then just wrap the nozzle into that pinch twist there. And we can go round again. Wrap into the pinch twist and the loops. Quite hard to see what I'm doing here. And then we want a tail that is approximately the same length as this one, so just twist off a bubble and cut off the end, and then just tie a knot in the end here. And then we can just tidy up the end of that ribbon. And then it's just a matter of arranging the elves. I tend to arrange them in order of height. So I'll have the taller ones at the back, and shorter ones in the front, a bit like the school photos. And if you want to just make them a bit longer, just stretch the balloons a little bit, and that will make them taller. The other thing I like to do is just tidy up where we tied the elf hats at the back here. I've made some little bows out of poly ribbon, and I'm just going to take a balloon sticky dot. This is a great way just to tidy up the backs of the hats. And I'm just going to stick that onto the back there. And I do that with each one, and it just finishes that off. So, face forward everybody. It's time for your close-up.